Guys, the documented journey. It is 7:44 p.m. October 31st. I just want to make this video, and this is just me kind of going over some thoughts. The purpose of this video is twofold. It's kind of like a success formula framework, and I guess in success defined as getting what you want, and then also how to deal with envy or disappointment or doubt or things like that. I guess in the sense of like, I'm not good enough. Or it could be in the sense of, why does he have that? Or like, I want what he has. Like, just bad emotions. Really just like that. That said, kind of just a very simple framework that I've been thinking about that has really kind of helped me, like, when this ever rises up or whatever. And I'm a Christian, so besides, of course, like, going to the Lord in that. And something that a mental thought that has helped me is this. And so kind of like three specific ideas almost. And it's not like I came up with these, but three specific ideas. One is, and it's funny, like the first one has three, second one has two, third one has one. So just kind of want to go over these, okay? And again, this kind of helps. I feel like this can help me stay focused on how to, like kind of a good framework, a good reminder on, and I'll just spoiler alert, it's all about cause and effect. So if you have a certain effect you want, you need to do the certain causes that bring about that effect, right? It's just about action, changing your circumstances. That said, again, I feel like this really helps me whenever like I'm getting envy of whatever, of other people, which I really, really dislike that feeling. And I feel like it doesn't even help me. I feel like it just like depresses me and just makes me sluggish and apathetic. So not good. And plus it's of course a horrible feeling. That said, here, so number one, we're all the same. Like, for example, I can reference a guy, Nick Wood, another guy, Zach Powell. These are business guys that I'm looking up to and that are I'm trying to learn from. So we're all the same in the end, though. Of course, Elon Musk, everyone goes to Musk. Elon Musk, it could be anyone. I mean, we're all the same. Tim Cook, Steve Jobs, we're all the same. Doesn't have to be business people. It could be whatever. Barack Obama. Like, we're all the same in the sense that we're all born babies, and I'm just like thinking about this, and it's very basic, but like we're all the same. We all bleed the same color. We all bleed the same blood. Well, bleed the same color blood. But that idea, like we're all the same. Yes, some people are born, no doubt, with specific talents, or no doubt they're born in specific circumstances, or whatever, where certain things happen to them. But fundamentally, we're all just human. We're all just the same. And that's kind of like a good reminder for me. Not only is it like, because that just kind of reminds me like, no, it's okay. Like it's kind of a reminder like, I got this. There's nothing wrong with me or nothing extremely special with them. Obviously, yes, I know, like maybe athletes or like some examples or whatever. But like you kind of get the general idea. So we're all the same. Number two, this is really helpful. Only action changes circumstances. So when you look at where people are at, the reason they're there, and I know certain things happen to certain people, like whatever, right? Might get lucky. But I'm just speaking, generally speaking. People are in certain circumstances because they did things that put them in those circumstances. Generally speaking. So if I'm looking at a business guy, like, man, how is he doing that? Like, he's just so much better than me. Whatever. It could be a younger guy, could be an older guy, whatever. Literally, the only reason he's there is because he did the things that brought about that there-ness. He did the effects, and the effects brought about the cause. I mean, he did the cause, and the causes brought out the effects. And so when thinking about that, and then that kind of just like almost demystifies it. Like, no, like the reason he's there is because he did the things that got him there. Now, not like that's just been helpful for me to think that like it's not mysterious. For example, sales, the reason he's there is probably because he's done more cold calls or he's done more demo calls or whatever. And then within that, and I'm going to the third point, there's also the quality of each action that determines the outcome. But then number three, and then I put in here, third one, because this follows up from number two, learn to act. That's the goal in the end, learn to act. And I might say act well, and I have notes here on what qualifies as acting well. And I feel like I broke it down, honestly, pretty well. Wait. Which is, learn to act. Acting on the right thing enough times well enough. That's all it is. That's what action is. That's all action is. Acting on the right thing enough times, well enough. Example of sales, cold calling. Well, for example, you'd want to, I'd say, cold calling. I'd say the right thing would be cold calling, right? It's not email marketing or whatever. I guess in this context, we'll just stick to cold calling. The right thing would be cold calling, right? Or door knocking. Like, let's say that's your job. Shout out to Vivint, selling security home service systems. The action is door knocking. That's like, you really can't anything other than door knocking. I mean, other than like recruiting, it's just door knocking. So the right thing is door knocking. Enough times, you know what? I actually might put well enough. Put that second, and I'll explain why. Right thing, it's door knocking. Well enough, as in the sense you have a basic script. If you just knock and just stand there, you're not going to get a sale, right? If you just knock there and say, hey, my name is Aaron, and then nothing after that, you're not going to get a sale. If you knock there and say, hey, my name is Aaron, I'm with Vivint, we sell home security service systems, whatever. You could say, like, I wouldn't go like this, but for example, you could say, would you be interested in seeing what our pricing is, or how much are you paying for your home security system right now, or whatever, something like that. When you go there, that is the like well enough in the sense of you're in the right direction, right? Thirdly is enough times, and you want to build up each one of these. If you can find a better right thing to do, maybe you get like, I don't know, if like you get 2 people under you that do the door knocking, whatever, and you're focused on training them. Well enough, maybe you work on, of course, your practice, your pitch practice. You just want to like build up that skill, and then enough times, just do it more times. All that's just the goal. Is to learn to act, is to act on the right thing well enough times. And by thinking about that, and even just now, like that's just like, oh man, that's all it is. Like, I want to get there fast. I want to have success fast. I want to make a lot of money fast. But it's okay. And I'll go to these other 2 quotes here real quick. That kind of just demystifies the whole process. And it's like, yeah, and that's where it goes. We're all the same. Like, we're all the same. Only difference that changes us is action. And then the goal is just, well, how do you act? Well, you just learn to act. And that can be done through maybe, and when I say learn to act, I guess that means a lot of things. Whether it be like positioning yourself mentally to act. Learning the right things to do. Like training yourself to act. Working on your skills. Working on environment design so that it encourages you to act. All those sorts of things, right? So anyway, that's just really exciting. And I just need to I've been working on this now for a couple weeks, and every time I go back to it, it's like, okay, relax, not a big deal. You're going to figure this out. We're all the same. Only difference is action. Focus on the action. Like, that's it. Super simple. Go down to these next quotes. The climb is the fun part. This is, these quotes I got from James Clear. A little shout out to Atomic Habits. Actually, I want to put this quote over here. So, see, whoever has the most fun wins. Whoever has the most fun wins. That said, when we look back on life, I don't want to like have had a crabby attitude through all of life to get what I want just to die with it, having experienced it for like a minute. I know there has to do like with legacy and all that sort of stuff, right? But I also want to enjoy life. And I'm not talking about like with pleasures, but just simply, I would say attitude, probably. Whoever has the most fun wins. And so, I guess you could think about it. I would rather be the guy, let's say, making $1 million a year, rather than the guy making $100 million a year. But he's got an attitude. I'd probably rather be the guy making $10K a month. I would rather be the guy making $10K a month rather than the guy making $1 million a year, but he's got a bad attitude. So I would say that person in the end, the person won that had the most fun, right? And that's just been a helpful framework for me, that even like, man, this sucks, I'm not getting anywhere. I don't use it as a crutch to like just go in denial and all that sort of stuff, but like just have that perspective. Like, you have a finite journey. You do want to go to the destination. You want to hit the milestones along the way, but have fun along the way. That's just a good reminder. And then, and following with that, the climb is the fun part. Like, that's just a good reminder. Like, and I feel like you get to choose if you want that to be the case or not. You get to choose if you're going to have the climb be the fun part. I know certain times I'm like, why can't I just like I wish it was just easier. I wish I was just there or whatever. Like, but changing that, like the climb's actually the fun part. Doing this, like the uncertainty, the insecurities, the fear, like all that sort of stuff. Like it can be a bit exhilarating. Like it's almost fun, just like being in it. It's the hunt, right? And so having that has been a helpful perspective too. And again, it's just been helpful with not only getting me focused, like, okay, like let's see my bottleneck. The bottleneck is you're not taking enough action. Okay, what type of action? Is it acting on the right thing? Is your action just the quality so low you need to work on that? Or is you're just not doing enough, right? So that's just like a helpful filter to see where your bottlenecks might be. And then this one below, it's kind of a good reminder to like have a good attitude throughout, right? And then lastly, it's just kind of like a good reminder, if you don't quit, you'll win. Literally. So when you die, you die. Right? If you keep focusing on the thing like I'm committing to doing digital real estate, or I'm committing to building my SEO agency, or whatever it might be, I'm committing to do that, to figuring it out. I'm either going to figure it out or I'm going to die trying. And either way, it doesn't really matter. In the sense that either you figure it out, which honestly you will. You're not going to spend 40 years, even if you're an older person, you're not going to spend 10 years trying to figure this out, right? Like you're probably going to figure out a couple months, probably maybe a couple years, right? So if you don't quit, you'll win. Like, I guess that's just a good reminder. It's okay if it takes a while. And you know what? Worst case scenario, what if it took your whole life and you died? But by that point, even if you had succeeded, let's say day one, you still would have died. And then you wouldn't have been able to even enjoy, continue in the success you had. So I guess either way, it neutralizes it. So pretty much by saying that, as long as you don't quit, you're going to win. It's like literally yours now. And I know I don't want to get like weird voodoo manifestation sort mental stuff, right? But if you don't quit, then there's literally nothing holding you back. And I want to be efficient. I want to go fast. I want to pay people that have already done it that can help me. I want shortcuts. I want to take lots of action, massive action. I want to take quality action. I want to be effective. I want to be efficient. All those sort of things because I want to get there faster. But at the same point, I'm committed to figuring this out. I'm not going to be perfect. And as long as I don't quit, that means that I'll either have figured it out or I'll just die, and it doesn't matter if I had figured it out again from day one. So that's just been a super helpful perspective for just like, bro, it's okay. I guess when I get stressed out or when I get jealous or envious or whatever that might be, or just disappointed or fearful or whatever, these 3 quotes have been super, super helpful. These 3 mental frameworks. And so, again, I'm just like really kind of excited that I nailed these down because these are almost like a go back, like a go-to, like a good foundation for like just having that mental perspective for approaching business and life as well. So that's it. There we go.